ain't gonna clap me in? You ain't gonna clap me in?
I'm gonna clap you in.
You gonna make me put it in. Give me that phone.
Stop!
Get it. Come get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. What you doing? What you doing?
Report back to your station. I repeat, all workers report back to your station. Report back to your station. All workers report back to your station. I repeat, all workers report back to your station.
Yeah. What it do, what it ain't, what it is. It's your boy, Mr. Wilson. Welcome to a space I like to call the Breakroom, where we cover everything from sports to hot topics. Today is one of them hot topics, y'all, like real live. By now, you've heard about or seen footage and coverage about the lawsuit between Ms. Naljan Faraji, Fox Sports, FS1, FS2, Charlie Dixon, the president, Joy Taylor, Emmanuel Ancho, and Skip Bayless.
Accusations.
These are not accusations. This is
False accusations.
And quite frankly, it's just an unfortunate situation. I wanted to highlight the part where in the lawsuit it talked about how Ms. Faraji was trying to convince Joy Taylor not to have a situationship basically with Charlie Dixon and Emmanuel Acho at the same time. And basically, you know, she was trying to tell Ms. Taylor about how powerful Mr. Dixon was and it could affect her job. And quite frankly, Joy Taylor didn't care.
What you know about me? Big G-L-O-N-A-G-L-E.
You know, she said, I got power now too. And, you know, when I'm done with him, I'll just say he committed, you know, assault against me. You know, that's assault against me. And I just want to talk about the fact that I have heard nothing about this from the sisterhood. Like, I want to know what the thoughts are from the sisterhood, because y'all are very quiet on this topic.
You got a lawsuit from a single mother who's an Iranian who's claiming that the patriarchy destroyed her at Fox Sports and that a 73-year-old white man, Skip Bayless, mistreated her and offered her money for sex.
Just real quick on that. 1.5 for the box is nasty work. That is nasty work. Come on, Skip. 1.5. Bro, you are in LA. There's women everywhere. Like everywhere. 1.5 for like a 20-minute session. 1.5 for the box is wild.
And that a 40-something white executive, Charlie Dixon, was betting on-air talent at his will and offering them up promotions based on sexual favors. You got Fox Sports owned by Rupert Murdoch. So you got 90-something-year-old Rupert Murdoch, 70-something white man Skip Bayless, and a 40-something white man Charlie Dixon.
Oh, shit.
All in the crosshairs of the New York Times with this explosive lawsuit. And we got crickets from the New York Times, the leader of the leftist movement. As of right now, as I'm talking, I haven't, and I looked right before this show, I was like, where's the New York Times? Where's their story on this? And there's nothing.
But when Jonathan Majors was running down the street, like literally running down the street, no one cared. No one showed this man any sympathy. You know, he was publicly degraded for months on end. And no one stopped to think, hey, did this girl, is she even telling the truth? And even with video footage showing this man running down the street, fleeing for his life for all we know, people are still like, nope, he did it. He did it. He physically assaulted that lady. And then you got Johnny Depp situation. You know, that situation was terrible as well. And again, the woman was just given the benefit of the doubt. But now that you have, mind you, another woman speaking out against this situation, and I feel like that brings value to this whole ordeal. It's not like a man is saying this or anything like that. In fact, I mean, if you look at other, you know, analysts or anchors that was at Fox Sports at the time of all this stuff going down, they say, hey, my name's Bennett. I ain't in it. It's not my business to even get involved. But now that all this stuff has come to light, well, yeah, there's a lot of credibility to this.
Why is that important? Well, if you're sleeping with the guy who allegedly runs everything, sooner or later, no matter how fast you are, you're going to be running something. She was married and then divorced because the ex-husband found out about her and Charlie. It also talks about how she was engaged to Earl Watson, right? Basketball player. And that was called off because he found out and got receipts of the relationship as well. Sounds like a deposition in the making. Sleeping with Emmanuel Acho? I've heard that before, multiple times. Recent as a week or two ago. Part about that is that actually happened. They got a show together. Coincidence?
And even with all of that, people are still doubting this whole situation, or they're very quiet about it. And I feel like that is very hypocritical of anybody that publicly scrutinized people that later on became to be proven innocent. I feel like Fox Sports is going to be doing a lot of damage control regarding this situation. Personally, I've always grew up watching ESPN, but I did get put onto a show with Emmanuel Acho. So it's just like, bro, you hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. I mean, everybody's grown. And quite frankly, Emmanuel didn't do nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying, in terms of, you know what I'm saying, legalities go, because he didn't have like control over her or anything like that. But the man did simp pretty hard. If anything, Emmanuel's guilty of is guilty of just being a simp. You know, he's simping hard. You know, simping ain't easy, bruh.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you, and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week.
Yo, that's crazy work, man. That's crazy work. You know, he said a couple things in there that I wanted to highlight.
Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in?
Interesting choice of words. I don't know, Acho. What kind of positions were y'all in? Because you were doing more than just talking sports, obviously. So often there's misogyny and sexism going on in the sports world. And I'm like, bro, that's exactly what y'all were doing. Like, what we talking about? This is why it's so hard to take people at face value. This is why it's so hard to trust people, because people just be talking, bruh. People just be talking, bruh. There's misogyny going on. There's sexism, and you know, she works hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have no idea the position that she was in. And I love Shannon Sharpe's reaction to all this, because people were trying to rope him in. He like, they ain't got nothing to do with me.
Address the elephant in the room. You're trending on Twitter. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Guys, the news of the day, absolutely, it doesn't. What y'all want me to say?
That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So there's nothing to address. I don't know why everybody if you notice, everybody's posted it. They got me. In the 42 pages, it don't mention nothing about Shannon Sharpe did anything. But y'all want to get clicks, so y'all mention me.
Right. Yep, ain't got nothing to do with us.
And quite frankly, I believe Shannon Sharpe, because Shannon Sharpe got caught with that whole Instagram live situation, and whoever Michelle was. Now, if he would have been like, Joy, oh, Joy, like, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, Michelle. So I still don't know who Michelle is. I don't care to know that much, but I did hear about the situation. But, you know, if he had said Joy, that's a different story. I believe he said it ain't got nothing to do with him. I rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Because he did own up to that Instagram live situation, and he took complete ownership of it. He took complete accountability of the situation. So
I'm embarrassed. Someone that is extremely private. The audio heard for the entire world to hear. People count on Shannon, Shay Shay Media, Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, ESPN, and I always try to be professional, even when I'm behind closed doors. I'm very disappointed in myself, not for the act, but for to have the audio to be heard. My kids called them, I called my sister, but guys, this was not staged. Came in, I threw my phone on the bed, engaged in an activity. All of a sudden, people are calling me, Shannon, you on IG Live. They can hear. I'm like, doing what?
Yeah. You know, quite frankly, it's kind of disappointing because I remember Ocho was dating Yvonne Orji. And those who don't know who Yvonne Orji is, she was on the TV show Insecure, which was on HBO for a number of years. I think her character name was Molly. She's also a stand-up comedian.
I got a dude saved in my phone is this nigga.
But truly, in the sports industry, I do not know anyone that is more impressive in every way, shape, or form than the one and only Joy Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
This nigga.
She also made Spotlight a couple years ago when she came out and said that she was 39 and she was still a virgin.
Are you still a virgin?
I am.
Oh my God, I love this. This is the most original guest we've ever had on.
And so, like, I have no problem with what she does because I really thought they was a good looking couple together. But pictures can paint one story and what actually is going on is obviously something different. But I thought they made a nice looking couple together. He seems like a genuine guy. She's obviously saving herself for marriage. But, I mean, that whole situation could have been like a turning point in their relationship. You know, she's waiting for marriage. He could have been like, nah. For those who don't know, Joy Taylor is Jason Taylor, Hall of Fame, Miami Dolphin, Jason Taylor's sister. And so, you know, it's really unfortunate on top of all that because it's like, bro, like he went out here and made a whole career for himself. From my knowledge, he kept a clean nose. He stayed out of trouble. He played many years for the Miami Dolphins and I believe the Jets. Like everyone's already pointed out, she was a bartender in Miami and she was a radio host personality. And it's like, how do you go from that to being a co-host on a show with the Hall of Fame tight end and Shannon Sharpe, Skip Bayless, who's done media since like the early 90s, I want to say. It's like, how do you even get in that position? How do you even get into that space? Joy Taylor left Miami, went to LA to become a broadcaster. The crazy thing is she was married. She dropped everything, went to LA to become a broadcaster. She was married for a year to a man by the name of Richard Giannotti. He is a former Major League Baseball player. He played 9 seasons. He played for the Los Angeles Angels and the St. Louis Cardinals. Money was not a thing. It wasn't like she did this because like, I got to get it out the mud. I got to make something happen for my family, my kids. I got to do this. This wasn't that kind of situation. And what's wild to me is now she has a podcast called Too Personal where she gives relationship advice.
Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money. You're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't because women this and men this, you're moving forward with this person.
And she's always talking about how the dating pool has piss in it, basically. Ma'am, respectfully, you were married. You chose to go back into the dating pool. To me, it seems as though she didn't want to be a trophy wife. To me, it seems as though she didn't want to live off of someone else or depend on someone else to say, hey, I did this for you. But if these allegations are true, and we still got to say if these allegations are true, what she did was no different. She just smeared her name in the process. She wanted to be a career woman, but she had not prepared herself for that career. I mean, no experience, no education. You know, like she didn't prepare herself for that. I just don't understand people like that when they make these brash decisions. Like everything was at your feet, and to some degree, she had a life of luxury. She still has a life of luxury, but at what cost? It's just beyond wild to me that she's offering advice to other women in regards to relationships when we see what she did with her marriage. Make that make sense. You can't. It really does not make sense. She just traded that life to go create her own life. All this stuff is coming to light and it's still coming to light. It doesn't really make sense to me, but y'all let me know. What are your thoughts on the situation? And what I've seen and what I've read, she went straight to that position. And it was all because of the relationship she had with Charlie Dixon. And I just wanted to point that out because I feel like it's messed up, because I'm sure that because of that whole relationship situation, someone else was overlooked. And quite frankly, you don't have to be, a news anchor or a sports anchor or work for a big network or be a celebrity to be in this situation. There are everyday people that experience this. It's just not on this. It's not on this large of a scale, but there are everyday people that experience this. And it's messed up because you have people that go to school, they get degrees, they sacrifice their time, they sacrifice money and energy to get to certain spaces in their lives. And for someone to get where she got because of a relationship, it's pretty messed up. And that's why, it's a conflict. It's just a big conflict of interest. And it's unfair to other women who are sports anchors or analysts who actually did it the right way. And I feel like this whole situation has really, really tarnished the image of females in terms of being a sports analyst or sports anchors, because it's of that magnitude. No one wants to be remembered this way. And quite frankly, when other women step into the room, or when someone else with a pretty face gets in front of a camera, the first thing people are going to think about is, I wonder if she did something to get in this position unfairly. Did they overlook someone else that was more deserving? And we're not throwing names out of anyone else, but it just makes it difficult for women to operate in a space that they already have a tough time in. And I'm critical of not only women in this space, but also men, because I've also done videos on sports, female sports analysts, and it was because they were women. It was because I felt like it was a bad take. But there are people that feel very strongly that women should not be operating in a space talking about a sport that is dominated by men. But I disagree with that notion, because some women understand the X's and O's better than men. I feel like there are going to be more names that come out, unfortunately, because whenever heads start rolling, people start talking. People always talk about, oh, snitches get stitches. But as soon as people are in situations that they feel is unfair, or people get in situations where, their back is against the wall, their true character comes out, and who they are is who they are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, more names I believe are going to come out, unfortunately, and that's just what it is, man. Because we don't know. They're still in discovery mode. When these lawsuits come out, okay, now they have to go back and do and look at stuff and research stuff, and begin to start putting pieces to the puzzle together. People are already talking about it, and that's the age that we're in. Fox Sports 20 years ago probably could have kept all this stuff under wraps, but because everybody has podcasts now, this situation is accelerating at a pace that I'm pretty sure they are uncomfortable with, because they don't have control over the situation. It's being brought to light, and so many other people are putting their input in, and I guarantee you during the course of their investigation, they're going to go pull footage from podcasts. They're going to have people being called that they didn't initially think were going to be witnesses in the trial. If it goes to trial, they're going to have people pulled for trial that they didn't even think about, that now because of podcasts and things like that, they're going to call all kind of people into the carpet. And they're going to have all kind of statements regarding the situation. These people are benefiting from these relationships. They was living life. They was doing their thing. You know, and they didn't think that anything would come of it. But what Joy did specifically was wrong. It was wrong and unfair. You know what I'm saying? Because she whether it's a man or a woman, she filled a spot, you know what I'm saying, that someone else could have had, that somebody else worked their butt off for, and that somebody else, quite frankly, earned. Joy Taylor made these comments in reference to working in sports media, and I quote, "You have to consistently reaffirm that you're good enough, that you belong there, and always prove it. You got to do twice the work for half the opportunity." And it's like, reaffirm that you're good enough. And it's like, what did you actually do to prove that you were good enough to have the positions that you held? I can't recall one thing. She's friendly. She can hold a conversation. But what did you actually do to deserve to be there? You know, she doesn't have a degree in like communications or like sports broadcasting. But I think I heard something about she has like an honorary degree. And it's just like, but someone actually went and put the work in. You know, study groups, you know, work 2-3 jobs to help put themselves through college. Meanwhile, you had all the seemingly advantages of life, whereas someone else had to bust their tail to get where they are. You got to do twice the work with half the opportunity. And I guess to some degree that's true, because she was doing twice the work. It just wasn't work that most people would consider like work. You're having an affair with one dude, and then you're having like a side dude on the side as well on top of that situation. I mean, I guess it is twice the work, but it's not what most people would consider to be work that would help you progress, building a foundation and getting your career off to the right track, getting the fundamentals in place, getting the necessaries, the education, the experience in terms of what career field you want to go into. That's not what she did at all. But she's capping hard about all the work she put in. Like, nah, the work you put in was different. That ain't the same work that what we talking about in terms of, oh, I worked hard to get where I am. You didn't work hard to get where you were. And quite frankly, that's disrespectful to anyone that has ever had to work their tail off for something. Anyone that went through like mental struggles, didn't have supportive family, you know, did stuff on their own, you know, people that are self-made, people that are black sheep of the family and didn't have support, you know, like that's a slap in the face to everyone in those situations. So yeah, you know, it's just wild. You know, I don't want anyone to like lose their job or anything like that, but it's not fair to people that operate with a sense of integrity, especially in the workplace, you know. And I'm not against having relationships in the workplace, because you can have a genuine and true relationship in the workplace. You got somebody that, you know what I'm saying, she holds you down, you hold her down, whatever. It's a real like relationship, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a problem with that. I just want to be clear on that. So moving on to the playoff game this week, we got Ravens Nation again. We got to see the flock again. And, you know, quite frankly, up until the point where Russ fumbled that football, we looked like we was toe-to-toe with them dudes. We was very much in position to answer them and take a 14-7 lead, if I'm not mistaken. And then it was just like, once you put yourself in a hole, once you dig yourself in a hole, it's just like, bruh, like against a team like the Ravens, you have to be
perfect.
we already at a disadvantage, right? Our offense is not as potent as their offense. So you got to be perfect. And we wasn't. Quite frankly, we just wasn't. But if they come out and they play them tough again, I can see us coming out with an upset. And in fact, I feel like if anybody can beat the Ravens, we can beat the Ravens. I mean, with Lamar and everything, I feel as though we can beat the Ravens because, again, you have one-offs here and there, but those games are traditionally close. And so right now, those guys got to dig deep and they got to find an answer. Like typically with a good team, what you want to see is like, okay, they're going to come out. These are their strengths. These are their weaknesses. They're going to do their strengths well, but we have to exploit their weaknesses. And the strengths that we have are defense, special teams, off top, boom, just like that. The defense and the special teams really struggled. They really struggled. And it's just like, man, like, it's not what you want to see late in the season. Going into December football, you want to be operating like a well-oiled machine. You want to be in your groove when December comes because it transitions right into playoff football. When you talk about teams being hot and stuff like that, they always say you want to get hot at the right time. You want to get hot in December. And right now, the Ravens, they got super hot. They got super hot in December. So, and not only did we not beat the Bengals to give ourselves a better chance to like have a playoff win against the Texans, but we lost to them and now we got to go to Baltimore again. And Baltimore is no easy place. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore ain't an easy place for their own fans. Like, Baltimore fans fight each other. They're much like the Eagles South. Like, they're Philly Part 2 is what they are. If you go to Baltimore, Baltimore looks just like Philly. So, they have the same, us against the world mentality, rightfully so. And, it's just not an easy place to play. And the Steelers did themselves no favors by losing that game last week. But yeah, I'm tired of playing games on Saturday also. We play better on Sundays. It's a fact. It is what it is. It's the schedule. It's not unfair because I believe the Ravens played last Saturday as well. Yep, they did. They played last Saturday before us. So, it's not even like, oh, it's not fair because, we gotta play these games on Saturdays. The good teams find a way. And we're going to find out a lot about who they are. We saw how they fell apart at the end of the season. Who steps up and puts them back together? That's the $1 million question. No one's even talking about our record against Baltimore right now. The only thing that people saw or people remember is that smackdown they put on us. And in our defense, it wasn't as bad as it looked, but it was bad. And if Marlon Humphrey's sticking the football out, running in the end zone in your face, what is not enough motivation to put you back together, then I don't know what will be. I don't know if anybody can say anything to piss you off enough to get you in that frame of mind that you want to go out here and wreck somebody's world, wreck somebody's hopes. So yeah, in fact, the Ravens are calling out GP. I don't know if y'all saw that. The Ravens are continuing to talk trash. Like, Lamar Jackson has a clone or something like that. And, people were trying it on. Players were trying it on. And, they was like, oh, man, this shit's soft just like GP. It could be Crash Out, episode 15 coming uploading. But, he does himself no favors with the way he has played the last 2 weeks he's been back. Last week, him talking trash to the fans, people are disappointed in you, GP. You have top 5 wide receiver talent, but your antics on the field, your mindset, the way you think, the way you process stuff, it holds you back tremendously. So people are disappointed, man. I ain't talking about the people that put parlays in and it was like, oh man, I put parlay. He couldn't get 40 yards or whatever the spread was. Like, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about like Steeler fans or George Pickens supporters because he has a lot of supporters. He has a lot of fans. People were disappointed, bro. Like, are you still hurt? Because if you still hurt, okay, let's have that conversation. If you still hurt, you should not have been playing. Your hands just didn't work. You was dropping all the passes that was coming your way. You know what I'm saying? Last week, you didn't run a route, and the safety drifted back over to Frymouth and intercepted the ball in the end zone when we was driving down the field. But if you had ran that route, you would have kept the integrity of that player to where he couldn't have got the interception. Who knows if Frymouth would have caught it or not? But it would have made that player be honest. And make sure you didn't beat that defender over the top. But you didn't even try to run the route. You can't turn on the people that's had your back this whole time. And, you know, just looking at the situation, you know what I'm saying? We've dealt with Antonio Brown. We all know about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown could have went down as number 1 statistically or been number 2. He could have been right there. If him and Ben could have stayed together them last couple years, there's no telling what they would have done from a statistical point of view because their chemistry on the field is undeniable. So we're going to table Antonio Brown for right now. Before Antonio Brown was Mike Wallace. You know what I'm saying? Like that ruggish type. You had Mike Wallace. You know, while Antonio Brown was there, you had Martavis Bryant. Martavis Bryant, again, was top 5 talent. Him and AB on the field at the same time should have been unfreaking stoppable. But Martavis Bryant couldn't stop smoking weed. That was his knock. That was his trouble. That was his kryptonite. He could not stop smoking weed. And it's just like, bro, like, we are phenomenal at finding why. And honestly, you had the Dre Archers, you had other guys that they drafted, Washington that they drafted, you know what I'm saying, also, but they wasn't of that caliber of talent of AB, Martavis Bryant, George Pickens. They was not. Nowhere close to it. And so what we have is like, okay, we find great wide receivers, but are they great and toxic? Or like what we doing? Like what seems to be the issue here? All these are strikes on Mike Tomlin. All these are strikes on him as a head coach. All of them. And, you know, I saw Hard Knocks, the game against the Bengals. Tomlin pulled him to the side and said, hey, man, I need you. That shit don't mean nothing. I need you. We need you. As a team, we need you. So I have no doubt Tomlin is doing some things to try to, like, get him on course, but he got to want to do that shit himself. Like, there's nothing that anybody can, if he don't understand the position he is in as a professional athlete, as someone who has the ability to play football, which is his childhood dream. If he don't understand how many people wanted that dream to come true for them that didn't get the opportunities he got, like, really, what do you say to someone in that position? I don't think there's anything you do say to anyone in that position. I really do not. I really do not. But nevertheless,
I don't know if I'd wear it, but it's not bad. It smells good. I don't know what it smells like.
You heard that? Dude was like, it smells like George Pickens. He said, it smells like George Pickens.
It smells good. I don't know what it smells like. It smells real good. I don't know if I'd wear it, but it's not bad. It smells good. I don't know what it smells like. It smells real good.
Yeah, it smells like George Pickens. Soft. It smells like George Pickens. Soft. And that dude Lewis from the Cowboys called out George Pickens. You know, he had a run-in with Brown's secondary players, several. You know what I'm saying? Like, George Pickens, I don't know. He just seems to have a target on him. But when he carries himself as a tough guy, this, that, and the third. So, I mean, it comes with it, I guess, but I like GP. I love GP. Like, I would love to keep GP. But if he's going to be a cancer in the locker room, then unfortunately, the team comes first. It doesn't matter how talented you are. The team comes first. Football is the ultimate team sport. You got 11 guys on each side of the football working cohesively as one unit, as one machine to complete an objective. I always compare football to like military. When you hear about, like military operations and how they operate, this unit does this, so this unit can do that, and they can get this task completed. There's several different factors that goes into completing a military mission. And football is identical to the military to me. And so you have to be strategic like any other sport, but you have to be strategic and you have to carry out your orders. You have to fulfill your assignment. If your assignment is A gap, damn it, you better be on A gap. You better be completing your assignment so someone else can complete their task. But when plays break down and people aren't completing their assignments, then you have chaos. Then you have, guys trying to do more than they should be doing, and which leads to chaos. Usually, that's how big plays happen. But yeah, I'm not here to sell dreams, people. I believe in thinking logically. I don't make excuses for scheduling or anything like that or injuries, because I do believe it's next man up. So I try to be as objective as I can be without letting any kind of emotions play into like my thought process. And so like, I've been told I'm crazy. I'm not really a Steelers fan because I said what I said about Tomlin. But if I'm being honest with you, Tomlin is beginning to look a lot like Marvin Lewis for the Bengals. And what do I mean by that is Marvin Lewis had winning records too. But Marvin Lewis couldn't win a playoff game to save his career. Like he literally could not win a playoff game to save his career. They won the AFC North a couple times. They had great regular seasons with Andy Dalton and AJ Green. That was their 1-2 punch back then. But they could not win a playoff game. They could not win wild card weekend. They could not win a playoff game. And so that was their knock. And right now, that is the knock on the Steelers. The Steelers have regular season wins. The Steelers look competitive in the regular season, but we have not won a playoff game since 2016. I think it's wild to me to act like we don't have problems. We have problems with coordinators and their schemes. We have problems with players and pointing fingers. We have problems with players attacking fans verbally. Well, a player attacking a fan verbally. We have serious issues. I'm just laying out all the facts. Am I ever going to root against this? No, I'm not. But I just feel like I'm being objective here. Moving on, I came across this dope clip of Russ, and it goes back to something I said about Russ months ago at this point, and how he's a leader.
Hey, let's win the last four, all right? Look at me. Let's go. We can do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't doubt now. Yep. You feel me? Let's go win the last four.
Just watching that clip was really dope, because in the moment where everyone is walking with their head down, when everyone is in their own head, when everyone is thinking the absolute worst, all it takes is one person to start to pull everyone back in the right direction. Tug of war. One person gets traction, and then the second person gets traction. The next thing you know, 3 or 4 people can get traction. Like, that is what he did in that moment, and I think that's dope, and I think that's why he's a leader. He's seen it before. He's been in the trenches before. He's been in gauntlets before. This might sound crazy, but, Russ going up to Cam and saying, hey, let's win 4. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I mean, still a nation going to be there. We just want to see y'all boys go out and do your thing. I would love to be bracket busters. I would love to play spoiler. for multiple teams. If that is what Russ is on, Russ, let's do it, bruh. GP, get your head right, bro. Offensive line, let's tighten up. Defense, get back to dominating the way you was dominating earlier in the season. And special teams, we need y'all too. We need all three phases. We need all three phases to be what they were when they were their best this season. We had a good regular season. It didn't end the way we wanted it to, but who knows? Who knows? So big up to Russ for that. Because honestly, he was talking to Cam, but really I felt that. Russ got a lot riding on this. Let's go out there and let's just start with one win, one game, 4 quarters. Let's go. Oh yeah, and before I forget, shout out to Matt Light Comedy. I had the pleasure of meeting him at the last game that I went to when we played the Chiefs on Christmas Day. He's a funny dude. He's a good dude. And he just made a post yesterday, I believe it was, where he said he was 11 years cancer free. So I think that's dope. But I did reach out to him, as I'm sure several of you did, reach out to him during the intro for the game against the Bengals. He made a little cameo appearance on the intro when Snoop Dogg did his part on the whole, intro video. I just wanted to play that real quick because I thought that was pretty dope. That was him right there. If you know, that was him right there. Dang. Yeah, that was him right there. You know what I'm saying? Good dude. Funny dude, you know what I'm saying? He goes to a lot of games. And we met a cool couple this year, going to the games, and they told us that they had sweet tickets for Christmas Day. Man, they probably told us that back in like October when we met them. And they was like, hey, if you want our tickets for Christmas Day, y'all are cool. You know what I'm saying? We'll just sell them to you if you want them. And so I was like, yeah, I'll take them, because I was like, I figured we was going to spend Christmas in Pittsburgh, spend some time with family. And I was like, yeah, it would be nice to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be up here for almost a week. We can go downtown, spend a day down there, catch up with some people and go to a game. Why not? And come to find out, one of my college friends, her boyfriend was coming up for the game. Mario's a big, Kansas City fan. And so we all went to college together. Well, me, her, and Mario went to college together. He was on the football team. And so I know them from that. So it was cool to connect with people. I met up with my man Don and his nephew. We met them at the Buffalo game when we played Buffalo for the playoff game last year in the blizzard. And so so it would be nice to connect. I figured it would be nice to connect with people. I knew all that stuff was in the mix, all the stuff was in the working. So we just made it happen, man. We had a good time. We had a good time at the game. I was able to connect with some more fans and stuff like that. And it's nice to just talk football. It's nice to talk Steelers football. And it's always nice to hear how people became Steeler fans and why people are Steeler fans to this day. And a lot of it is rooted around just being tough-nosed and playing with a sense of passion, and ironically, it's just like that's the opposite of how they've been playing these last couple of weeks. I get it. You're not supposed to win every game, but it's how you lose the games. That's the issue for most people. So, and one more thing I wanted to talk about, I came across a little clip on Instagram from a Maxine Stryker. I believe she's a news anchor for Baltimore. And they was just talking about how the food situation in West Baltimore is scarce, how they don't have no grocery stores, and it really reminds me of DC. East of the river, there was one grocery store, there was a Giant, but because of shoplifting and stuff like that, I believe they're in the process of shutting down that Giant. But that's the only grocery store east of the river. And so, it really stuck out to me. And, I really love to hear people making a difference in their communities. You know, even though it's Baltimore, you know, at the end of the day, we're all people. At the end of the day, we all are tasked with the responsibility of just being good humans, being good, decent people. And I feel like what these people are doing is tremendous. And so I wanted to get into this and show y'all this. And then I'll let y'all get back to y'all day. But check this out real quick. This is a dope story.
Take a walk through West Baltimore's Sandtown Winchester neighborhood, and the decades of disrepair are hard to ignore. Among the abandoned row homes, corner stores, and trash-lined streets,
this is absolutely a food desert.
Is a feeling of forgottenness.
They just have to invest.
But if you look hard enough,
I used to ride past here all the time, but I did not know what was going on.
there's beauty in the blight.
I feel like this is a really good community initiative.
This 1.5-acre urban farm sticks out like a, well, green thumb in one of the city's poorest neighborhoods.
We are here to make food affordable, of course, and to give people healthier options.
Split. Shay McCoy and John Kidwell,
I love growing charge.
are the pair that keep strength to love alive.
What drew me here was the fact that the farm produces life. What's more important than producing life?
7 days a week,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday.
you'll find John here, planting, weeding. His hands never stop moving.
I don't really have what you call a set off day.
And as we talk, he's so focused, you'll notice his eyes rarely leave the plants.
I'm what they would call the reform one.
You see John's roots
The part I try to forget.
are deep in darkness.
I was selling drugs, and then I even had got involved in handling firearms, selling firearms.
In and out of jail several times, he'll tell you this place was his saving grace.
I came in here and I fell in love with feeding people.
He's now dedicated his life to bringing healthy food to a community who often struggle to find it.
Lord, the nearest grocery store?
In Sandtown, Winchester, according to the latest city health profile, nearly 60% of the neighborhood is considered a food desert. The number of corner stores per 10,000 residents in Sandtown, 27.5, nearly double the city as a whole.
But for years, we're just dealing with like buying food from corner stores and
Chicken box.
like mom and pop shops.
But now,
If we didn't do this, sometimes some children probably would not eat.
they at least have a chance.
We promote from the farm to the table because the goal is to get people to eating healthy.
Everything on the farm is carefully cared for until it's ready to head out into the community, straight to homes, food pantries, and farmers markets.
And we weigh it, just write it down, and then send it through the wash.
Uh-oh, she got the collets.
When we take the produce,
Uh-oh. She got the collets in the tub, y'all. Uh-oh. That's that Kamala stuff. You got the collets in the tub.
The Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for a party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
So how do you make your greens? Do you put turkey in them? Do you
Bacon.
Put nice.
All the way around the block. And that's it, right?
Thank you, sir. He's not kidding.
Oh, what we doing today? We're at the pantry.
At the Langston Hughes Food Pantry,
Let's roll with it.
Bee and Glenda have been lined up for hours.
We always first.
Always.
The first catches the worm. Yes, we have bags, we have wagons.
They come for what's fresh
Fruits and vegetables, things that are healthy for you.
and leave with a week's worth of
We're
meals.
so grateful for this.
A tradition that highlights just how important Strength to Love is,
You don't have to sit home with nothing.
providing those in need with nourishment.
That's where the reward comes in at. When you see people eating and their stomachs are full off of the produce that you spent hours and hours nursing.
And sowing the path for a better future.
You have to give back to the community that you helped tear down at one time.
Because no matter who you are, where you live, or what you've done,
And we all have that strength to love what we're doing and the people we're doing it for.
we all deserve fresh food
That's what it's about, feeding the people.
and a fresh start.
It's been life-changing for me.
In Baltimore,
That's the real fulfillment. That's the real joy out of it.
Maxine Stryker, Fox 45 News.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Strength to Love Farm. I really enjoyed that. I think what they're doing is wholesome. Like they showed like the trash in the road, the chicken boxes, the potato chip bags, and stuff like that. Them people don't have access to a grocery store, and everyone can't afford public transportation, and so people don't have cars of their own. If they can't borrow rides, they just don't get places. That reminds me a lot of my upbringing, and we really had to depend on a lot of people to do a lot of stuff for us out of the kindness of their heart. And so I really wanted to just highlight them and shed some light on them. Maxine Stryker and Strength to Love Farm. I really believe what they're doing is great for humanity. And who knows, their love for their community and people that they see in their daily lives might inspire a child to want to get into agriculture. And that might help an entire, another generation. Yeah, I'm going to leave a link in the description. So that way, if you wanted to reach out to Maxine Stryker or even reach out to them, you can. Because I believe that, if we can raise all these donations, if we can get sneakers, if we can get this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying, and it just sit in a closet or it goes unused, man, people can take $5 and donate it to them for a good cause that will help, you know what I'm saying, people in dire situations. And one more thing I want to talk about.
This nigga.
If you fuck with me one more time, you do. And I don't care about none of it, nigga.
I'm going to do a reaction mini series to the TV show Cross. I've never read the book. I've never really this whole Alex Cross situation of through the years, Tyler Perry, Alex Cross, was a huge thing in the community and stuff like that. I never got into it. I tried it, didn't like it. But this new series, Cross, bro, they had me hooked 5 minutes. Because DC for me is home. So off top, I'm tired of you dudes riding around in these Mustangs. You're not Alex Cross, bro. Cut it out, Slim. You are not Alex Cross. We don't eat Ben's Chili Bowl every day. Knock it off. Get some help. I just wanted to say I do like the series. Hoping another season comes out. But I was really fascinated with the series because I'm into photography and videography. And, even so much as, I was looking at, film locations because I was like, hold up, that's not DC. Or something would jump out to me and I would want to know where they shot it. And so, but I knew it wasn't DC. The stuff in DC, I can call out where the stuff was in DC. So I think they did a great job with that. I think maybe they did different locations because the budget wasn't too crazy. I don't know. I'll look into that. I'll look into all that as I bring forth the whole little series on the new TV show Cross. So, but yeah, if you made it this far in the video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. I like the feedback. I like the interaction, even if I disagree with it, even if you disagree with me, it's dope to have conversation. I feel like different perspectives is how we all grow. So yeah, man, y'all stay up, y'all stay blessed. I'm gonna holler at you on the next break. Until then, peace.